What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Gold Guy YouTube channel. It has been a pretty long time since you've seen this car. The whole time it's been running good. I just haven't been really doing anything to it. In this video, I'm going to be upgrading the fuel injectors to 565cc from the stock 240cc, I think. If you don't know anything about this car, this is a 2006 Subaru Impreza 2.5i wagon and NA, but I have converted it to turbocharged with unequal length headers, front mount intercooler, TD05 20G turbocharger. I did all the exhaust work myself. I've done all the work myself. It's been running pretty good, but I've always had a lean problem at boost, so I've never really been able to fully slam my foot down. I always have to slowly let on the gas and make sure I'm not leaning it out. I've always been having to keep an eye on my AFR gauge. Hopefully soon that's all going to change because I'm finally going to be tuning this thing right. I've never really tuned a car, but I know how to tune a little bit and I know how to flash my ECU, but we'll figure it out as we go. So this is going to be a big learning process here, guys, and I hope you enjoy the video. If you missed seeing this car in my videos, hit that thumbs up button. Another thing I want to do in this video is move these gauges to the proper location, which will be up here. Here we go. Let's unbox these fuel injectors. They cost me 45 bucks for 4 new Denso injectors, so pretty good deal. Part number APAA161. These are brand new Denso 565cc. And there's the seal. Fuel injectors. Just kidding, I'm pretty sure they are under this metal shield bracket thing under there somewhere. 2 on each side. Definitely gonna need 12mm. Let's just start taking stuff apart, shall we? Oh, I was right about the 12mm thing. I got one more bolt somewhere. Oh, it's close. Don't really know what's holding it at this point. Well, there's the fuel rail. There we go. Now that I got the spark plug wires off of these two little holders, got this bracket out of the way. Now we can see the fuel rail, but how the heck do we change the injectors? I was totally just winging it up until now, but I might have to do some research on how the heck to get the injectors out of the fuel rail. Guess I can start by unplugging it. There's the injector. So the fuel rail is held on with 2 12mm bolts. Damn, those are very tight. Ooh, and the socket's gone. There it is. Luckily that one fell all the way to the floor. Just have to disconnect the fuel line, and now the fuel rail should slide right off. Right there above this blue rag is the fuel disconnect, so just have to push in the blue tabs. There we go. I'm kind of scared. I don't know how much fuel is gonna spray. Oh, that's it, huh? That was like nothing. So now it looks like I can just pull the fuel injectors out. There's one. There is the second fuel injector. I didn't get very far last night. I got 2 of the injectors out and I just started getting the new ones in, but it was getting late, so I figured it'd be better to just pick it up today. It's a nice rainy day out, perfect day for working on the car inside the garage. So let's get these injectors in. I've got some motor oil here. I'm just gonna get a little bit on the seals so that they slide in good and I don't damage them in the installation process. Alright, nice and oiled up. Get it in. That slid in so much easier with the oil. And same thing goes for the other injector. Right into the fuel rail. There. Now I'm going to slide them both back into the intake manifold at the same time. And I can reconnect the main fuel line here at the same time. And then I'm going to put these 2 bolts holding the fuel rail back in. Just tighten up the fuel rail bolts. Then we'll be good to go. There we go, it's all tightened down. Only one thing left to do on this side. I'm not going to put the metal bracket back on until I know that they're not leaking. So I'm going to do the other 2 injectors on the driver's side, and then I'm going to test for leaks. If I have no leaks, then I'm going to put it all back together and reflash the tune. Now over on the driver's side, got that same big metal bracket. Pull that off and then we can get to the injectors. Oh. There we go. It was a tight fit. Damn. But there we go. We got the bolts out. So the fuel rail is loose now. Can go ahead and pull these injectors out. There's one of the old injectors out. And there's the other one. It's time to get the new injectors in. Same as the other side. A little bit of oil on the O-rings. Alright, everything's hooked up, injectors are in. I'm going to turn the key on, not starting it, but just turning it on until the fuel pump pressurizes the fuel system, and then we'll check for leaks. I hear something weird, let's see what's going on. Oh yeah, we got a leak. Fuel spraying out of the top seal on the left injector on the driver's side. So this injector on the left was still spraying fuel out every time I turned on the key. So I took the fuel rail back off and I noticed that the O-ring was pinched up in the fuel rail. It wasn't seated right. So I took it off and then reinstalled it, and now we have no leak. Here we are in Romraider, gonna tune for these injectors. So we will go ahead and open up my stock ROM. This is the one that I actually downloaded with the Vagcom cable to my computer right from my OBD2 port. Go ahead and open that up, and I'm going to need the injector latency and injector flow scaling. Gonna have to adjust these two. To do that, I'm going to open up a 2007 stock WRX. So the 2007 stock WRX uses the 565cc fuel injectors. So we can pretty much just copy all this stuff over. The latency should be the same though, so I'm going to go ahead and change those first. 3.01 for 6.5 volts, and then I don't know why we got 3 manifold pressure, and this only goes with the voltage, but they're all the same anyway going down, so I'm not going to worry about that. 1.69 at 9 volts, and then 1.10 at 11.5 volts, and then 0.77 at 14 volts, and 0.63 at 16.5 volts. Alright, now we will change the injector flow constant, 550.67. I'm going with it. There we go. Everything is changed over. And then I will save this as a new ROM. And now it's time to connect the green test mode connectors. So let's open up ECU Flash. There we go, ECU Flash is all opened up. Alright, here's ECU Flash. Going to open up my tune. It's this one. There we go. And now I'm going to test write this to the ECU before I actually write it to make sure that it's gonna work. I'm gonna have to turn on the key, and as soon as I do that, I'm gonna click this OK button right here. Didn't get it. Sometimes it takes a few tries to get it to work. So let's try it again. All day long I couldn't get it to work, and then I download ECU Flash version 1.30, and it looks like my new ROM that I made is actually flashing to my ECU. Well, this is the scary part when it could get bricked, so I'm just gonna try not to shit my pants, and I'll be back with you guys later. What a relief. The operation completed successfully. If you are done with your ECU, turn the ignition off. Okay, turn my ignition off, and now I can unplug the green flash connector. There we go. Now we can try to start this thing up. Well, I seriously have no idea what's gonna happen, but let's try to start it up. It's actually idling. AFR gauge is saying 13. It was at 14.7. It is still cold, so yeah. Let's check for leaks. No leaks on that side. I don't see any leaks on this side. It warmed up a little bit, and the AFR gauge went back up to 14.7. That is great news. I'm gonna try to rev it a little bit and see what the heck happens then. Well, I don't know guys, I think it's time for a test drive. Test drive time. I changed quite a bit, so. It seems like it's driving exactly like it did before so far. I just hit 1 pound of boost, and it was still at 14.7 AFR, so I might need to change the tables a little bit more. And I'm at full operating temperature, about to hit some boost here. It is running richer than before, but it's still too lean under boost. It is definitely accelerating better and handling boost better. Still have some work to do though. Now the next thing I want to do is move these gauges to up here. The first step is to remove this whole piece with the clock and everything, so I can see where I'm going to be able to run the wires through. There it is. Now I can pull these off. Won't be needing this zip tie anymore. I just have to disconnect the gauges so that I can run the wires through. I can see light coming from somewhere up there, so I'm just gonna try to feed this wire up through. Let's see if it came out up top. Ah, yes, there it is. There it is. That was super easy. There we go. Now we got all the wires up here. So now I just have to drill a hole or cut a big hole or something in the back of this clock piece so that we can pull the wires up through that. And then that hole will feed directly into this gauge mount, and then we'll feed them right to the gauges. All right. There we go. Now this is one solid piece. Just need a pilot hole first. Gonna go right in the middle. Update. I got all the wires, all the extra wire bundled up. And I think I'm gonna be able to just kind of jam it back there. So now I just have all the wires that I need for the gauges, so we're all set up. Let's go ahead and put the clock back in, run these wires through the holes, and hook everything back up. And then just gonna plug those in, super easy. There we go. Tuck those wires back in. And there's the AFR gauge. All done. There we go. Now I can just tuck that back in there. All right. Let's turn on the key and make sure it works. Nice. Well, I filmed that whole test ride last night, and then I realized that you can't even see the AFR gauge at all. So I'm gonna film another quick test ride. I don't know if you guys will even be able to see it, but let's give it a shot. I have noticed one thing. On cold starts, it sometimes takes a little bit longer to start than it did before. Like it's getting a little too flooded out. So that'll definitely be a tuning thing. I think I still have a lot of tuning ahead of me. So it's running pretty good, but we're still not getting down to the 11s on under boost, which is where I would like to be. By leaning out, I mean it's in the 14s and sometimes 13s. But under boost it should be in the 11s. But the new injectors and the new fuel map definitely made some positive improvements. Well guys, that about wraps up this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really thought that the new fuel injectors and modifying the fueling table and tuning a little bit would solve the lean under boost problem, but it's obvious now that it's a different problem. And I wish I would have known this before, because I probably would have just started out by doing this, but instead I did the injectors, which needed to be done anyway. But the problem that I have now is that my mass airflow sensor has not been scaled correctly. If you guys remember, I have a completely custom homemade intake pipe, which is a much different size than the stock intake pipe, and I've never changed the mass airflow sensor scaling in my tune. So that is definitely the next thing that I'm gonna have to do. In the next video, I'm gonna be scaling the mass airflow sensor and figuring out my tune. And then, maybe after that video, I'm gonna be turning up the boost a lot, maybe. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that like button, comment down below what you guys wanna see me do on this car. And if you have any tips for scaling your mass airflow sensor, please put it in the comments down below, because I really don't know much about that at all. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified when I turn up the boost on this thing and make any other new videos. Thanks for watching guys, peace out.